Recording?
Okay, never mind. It's not going to be a 2
No, there's recording going on. JK, LOL, no.
But there is an 18 plus panel right after this with us plus some others.
Some other inappropriate beings.
Really inappropriate.
Really
people
inappropriate.
named Chris Matthew.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Not like that.
It's not like that. I already
got part
told
one
you
last
it's not
week.
like that.
What's inappropriate?
I just got the first 13 episodes of this.
Alrighty,
Yes.
let's all get ready, simmer down, chill out,
Simmer down.
Simmer down.
Simmer down now.
So welcome to the Women in Anime panel, where essentially we are talking about either women characters or ourselves working in the industry, and this is a panel in which if you guys have any questions you would like to bring up, discuss, we are here to answer those for you. And we all have our different perspectives and viewpoints, and we are here to share.
I think the first thing is it 6:30 yet?
Is it
6:28.
Almost.
6:28.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna filibuster for a minute. I think what we should probably do first is introduce ourselves.
That's so.
I am a nameless figment of your imagination. I don't know what you're talking about.
Baby, you have a name in my imagination.
There you go.
Someone's had practice.
Get there.
It's cupcake. It's a cupcake.
Alright, let's start down there.
All right, perfect. Hi, my name is Margaret McDonald. I also go by Meg. I have been voice acting for the past 5 years. Some of the titles you may know me from, I was in Love Chinibyo and Other Delusions as Rika Takanashi. I was Miho Nishizumi in Girls in Panzer, Tomoko in Tomoko Market, Honey in Hamatora. Yeah,
So,
right. But we only recently met each other. We know each other's voices when we worked with each other a lot, but we just like met today.
Yeah.
So it's like, so whenever I list something, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, right on. So, I've also was in A Comic on Kill and Parasite Maxim. So those are just some of the titles that I've been in.
cool.
You're pretty
I
cool.
love it.
Whatever. I'm Caitlin Barr. I am a voice actor and scriptwriter. I'm a little better known as a scriptwriter. I've written scripts for One Piece, Code Geass, Comic I Kill, yeah, Monster Musume, School Live, Donmachi, bunch of stuff. As a voice actor, I am I'm Layla in Chika Coffin Princess. I'm Kizana in Yandere Simulator. I'm Twisted Metal the Morrigan in Smite. And others.
Well, my name is Caitlin French, so that's going to get real confusing with two Caitlins.
You can call me KB.
Baby.
Yeah.
We're going to make that short.
What?
We're going to start adopting our nickname for you everywhere.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to make it a thing.
Yeah, especially if we're in the same place.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm Caitlin French. I've been voice acting for about 5-6 years. Also, I first got my start with the Book of Bantora. That was my first show ever, and I kind of kept a trend of dying a lot in anime up until recently, and then it was all playing little girls. I'm mostly known for voicing Shiro in No Game No Life, also Meitachi Bana in Say I Love You, Hana Isuzu in Girls in Panzer. I've also done Chika Coffin Princess, The World God Only Knows. I've done a bunch of shows around, so you've probably heard me, or if you haven't, this is where you get to know me, and I'm sorry. Woohoo!
She's not. She's not
not.
sorry at all.
I'm really not.
You're not.
There's no need.
I guess we can kick it off by asking you guys if you have any questions about what it's like to be a lady in the industry, or I don't know. It looks like you might. Oh, wait, I thought I saw one.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, kick us off.
You guys ever do any of your voices at drive-thrus?
What?
At drive-thrus? I've never done one of my voices at a drive-thru. I've done like
Whose voices have you done at the drive-thru?
She said yours.
Well, I've done Bobby Hill at a drive-thru.
Have you really done that at a drive-thru?
we were really drunk. Well, I was really drunk. Savannah wasn't.
I think
Did she do
Bobby, sit down.
Oh no. Yes. I have not because I wouldn't do that to those people. I've worked in restaurants enough that I'm like, I don't want to pick on anybody. They're just trying to get through their day.
I have never actually done it in a drive-through. However, when there are unknown numbers calling me on the phone, I will de-age my voice and act like my mom's not home.
Oh my god.
So I can get away with not having to answer anything or get guilted into listening to someone's spiel. I also do the same thing at the door because I perpetually look like I'm under 18 for some reason. And so anytime the Mormons show up, I just kind of, I wave and close the door that mom isn't home.
It's not home. I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Get off my lawn.
Good, interesting question to start with.
I liked it.
That's a good one to get the ball rolling.
Who else has a question? Yes.
When you guys are doing younger girl voices, do you guys find that you have to pitch up your voice like that constantly, or do you normally use your regular pitched voice?
This is a good question because we're all gonna have a really different answer to this question. Go, Caitlin.
Naturally, my voice is really high. I don't sound like an adult ever. It actually takes effort for me to lower my voice, and so when I'm really casually talking with someone, I can lower my voice and try and kind of go, but if I've met someone for the first time, my inclination is to speak higher and really quiet because I get really nervous around people I don't know. So in the booth, I kind of use that to my advantage because always before a show, I get a little nervous. That's just how I am, and it's energy I write off of. So for me, one of the problems is sometimes I'll go too high, and there's a really big interesting thing between Japan and dubbing when it comes to presenting age, because I do play a lot of 11-year-olds. Characters like Shiro in the Japanese dub are technically higher. They speak in a very high, the standard moe voice, where it's really up here the entire time. When we do dubs, oftentimes we try and make it a little more realistically because that is not how any 11-year-old actually sounds. That's just not how that works. I worked in schools. I'm pretty sure I had kindergartners and first graders with deeper voices than me. So generally, it's pretty easy for me to slip into a little girl voice without having to do a lot of effort. It's when I'm trying to sound more adult that I actually have the issue, because it's a lot more focus in my chest voice that I don't use as often. It's far more natural for me to be higher.
Good question. Oh wait, you want to add to that?
Did you want to add?
I do, but I'm going to say something different.
Okay. Well, I have a youthful sounding voice in general. So like this is my normal speaking voice, and while it is lower, it still sounds very young. So I'm not able to pull off the older characters well. Like we had, I came in for a show and it only had like 3 women in it, and they needed me to play like 2 young women and then like a really old lady, and they were like, put more age on the voice, more age, more age, more age, more age, and it like took us a long time to get my voice to the point like where I could get it. But honestly, it depends on the age of the character I'm playing. Like if she's really little,
Really pitch up really high, just get all the way up there.
but like if she's just a high school student, usually I can get away just using my own voice just a little bit higher. So it's not much different. It just ends up being pretty close to my actual, voice. But when you start hitting the little characters, that's when you get the really high-pitched stuff. Or, of course, the character, it's a character, it's like a character choice, the ones where they're like high-pitched for, sometimes you have like a high-pitched Valley Girl and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't have to escape my range too much, and I occasionally have to pitch up, but that's for like the younger characters.
This is a good question for a women in anime panel, because a lot of being a female voice actor is, in my case, and a lot of other women's cases, you play a lot of little boys. So, I actually never play little girls. Sometimes I'll go in to do bits and they'll be like, you can't do little girls, can you? I'm like, no, but if there's a little boy, I can do that. So that's interesting because they rarely get men to play little boys. Like, I'm I'm like the young version of the protagonist in a lot of shows because, and I mean, it'll be like, 2 or 3 lines or whatever, but they can't get the male actor to do the same character as like a 7-year-old. So yeah, that's part of being a woman in the anime industry is there you have that other avenue too for your niche. So I'm really lucky that I can do a little voice, but unlike these two, I cannot do a little girl voice at all. They can have all of them. I can't.
Little boy voices are difficult too, like, because sometimes if they want them to sound really realistic, I can do the cartoony ones like hardcore, but like the realistic ones are the ones that I struggle with.
That's how I am about old lady voices. There's one director lately that's called me for a ton of old lady voices, and he's like, "Oh, you're the one who does the old lady voices." He's like newer, and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess."
Sure.
And I can do like a one-off, like silly little grandma voice, but then if it's like a serious, like she's an older woman with like a dramatic character arc, then it's hard. Because that's meant to be like believable and taken seriously, whereas once in a while you'll just get like an offhand like granny like, "Oh, hello."
Why, hello there. It was wonderful to bring me some cookies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good question. So we're really lucky, I think. There's some ways being in this industry as a woman, you kind of get the short end of the stick, which we can talk about, but there's a lot of ways that you don't. And one of them is that you have a wide range of characters you can play. Because, we get to play the little girls and the little boys a lot of the time.
We also get a lot of like weird creatures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
like-
share of zombies and demons and stuff.
Right, like anime has a lot of like these little random like character things in it, like
Little chibi guys that
Right,
pop
right,
up just
right.
for one joke or whatever.
Yeah, like-
yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, so like either that or like little monsters.
Yeah, the mascot characters and
Slap on
stuff.
merchandise.
Yeah,
Right, so they just like randomly are there and they're pretty cool.
yeah, we're lucky like that.
Anybody else have a question? Yes, Tama-chan.
Okay, finally someone who knows the cosplay and not calling me Henny sometimes.
Well, it's because you're so cute.
Thank you. Okay, so what's your favorite heroine character, either from shows that you voice acted in or other animes that you like?
Favorite heroine character that you have voiced?
I've got a lot.
Go for
I've
it.
got a lot of feelings.
She's ready.
All right, so
Oh.
Right.
I grew up with Sailor Moon. I love Sailor Moon, and
Go ahead. Go ahead. I thought you said that we voiced, so I wasn't even gonna say Sailor Moon.
oh
Is it
no,
that you voiced or in other anime?
Oh, perfect.
So I love Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's great. I also was for a long time, I was kind of into anime, but it was because my friends were into it in high school. So because all the stuff that they liked was stuff that I wasn't really into. So they were they were really heavy into like Gundam and some of the more serious anime. And that was like stuff that I wasn't necessarily into. Like I liked it, and it was cool, but it was not like my jam. So I stopped watching anime for like a long time, and then I started watching Blood Plus, Saya, and I love Saya. It's one of my favorite characters. But I think of the ones that I've played, I like Rika Takanashi a lot. I love her. She's great. She's so tough and vulnerable at the same time. I think she's a great character. I absolutely love her.
Yeah, Sailor Moon, I'm gonna have to agree. I'm simultaneously really proud and simultaneously really embarrassed of how much Sailor Moon merchandise I own. I have a collection, it's 5 IKEA cases full, and I have a life-size standee of Sailor Moon in my apartment. I love Sailor Moon. I love specifically Venus is my favorite. Played, I guess, I play a lot of strong women. That's my typecast, is I play the evil seductress or the tomboy or the older sister. Yeah, you know. I don't play cute. These guys play cute. I can't play cute. Because I'm unlovable. No, so I can play a lot of strong women, which is good. I love that anime, especially over the years, since we've been around, has expanded to include a lot of diverse female characters that are strong and capable and not all about just being cute.
Yeah, there's ones that are cute, But now they have like cute smart and cute dumb. And
You
I'm
can
like-
be pretty and smart.
I'm like, sweet.
Don't
I
know if you
still
knew
I
that.
still get cast as the dumb ones though.
Well, no sisters, we must empower each other.
So I'm gonna also be on the Sailor Moon train because we're all about the same age, and USA put Sailor Moon out when we were very little. So I was really big into Sailor Moon because first off, you had Sailor Jupiter, and Sailor Moon watched wrestling, played video games. I love that about her. That was something that I did. I played video games. I loved watching pro wrestling. I also really loved Lady Kira from Ronin Warriors. I thought she was awesome. And as far as heroines go that I have played, I play a lot of interesting characters, but I think the most real female I have ever played is Mei Tachibana in Say I Love You. She goes through all the awkward high school beats, and she deals with them in ways that I understand why. She shuts off from people. She doesn't deal with people's crap, but she has to, even when she's strong, has to admit that she needs to grow some. And that's what I really like about that character, and it makes her strong in her own way because I think we get this idea that strength means not needing anybody, when strength means admitting when you need somebody and admitting when you need to grow instead of standing completely rooted and unmoving in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Girl. Motivational speech right there.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Like I said, like Sailor Moon. Did y'all ever watch like Pokemon or Digimon?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Digimon.
I watched Pokemon. Pokemon came out when like it started getting really big when I was in about 5th grade.
Just in time to sell you the cards.
Oh, right. Well, the thing is like because it was right at 5th grade for me,
High school for me.
when it was coming through, it was right before everybody started hitting that weird switch of, are you still a kid?
Oh, that's
Are
so
you not?
dumb.
So the 6th grade like bullying started like early because they were like, oh, you're playing Pokemon.